Hello and welcome to Newsline.
I'm Thảo Trang.
Right time and here are the top stories for this hour. National Assembly session opens with record agenda.
And final quarter push for national growth.
And later on, ASEAN Friendship Diversity shined at concert. Now you're watching Newsline. Now the 10th session of the 15th National Assembly opens today in Hanoi, marking the final session of the term and the most extensive legislative agenda so far. Over the next 40 days, the Assembly will review 66 key contents, including 49 draft laws covering planning, cybersecurity, press, high technology, artificial intelligence, tax management, and security. It will also consider 4 major resolutions on education, healthcare, international integration, and solutions for implementing the land law. Lawmakers will assess the 2021-2025 socio-economic plan, economic restructuring, public investment, and national finance.
On Sunday afternoon in Cần Thơ City, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính chaired a conference on expressway development in the Mekong Delta with leaders from provinces and cities across the region.
The Mekong Delta is currently building 11 expressways, totaling nearly 435 kilometers, with most projects having completed land clearance. At a conference in Cần Thơ, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính said the region has received nearly $22.8 billion in transport investment, the highest nationwide, to remove infrastructure bottlenecks. By 2026, about 600 kilometers of expressways are expected to be in operation. The Prime Minister confirmed there is no shortage of capital, mechanisms or construction materials and urged relevant agencies to act with responsibility and less talk, more action, while swiftly addressing obstacles as Resolution 206 and 66.4 have secured material supply.
I urge localities to use these resolutions as a basis to grant mining permits directly for project use, ensuring transparency and preventing market manipulation. Any signs of violations must be strictly dealt with. Authorities must inspect licensed quarry sites to prevent collusion between licensing agencies and contractors.
The Prime Minister assigned specific tasks to ministries and localities to speed up key transport projects in the Mekong Delta. He asked the Ministry of Agriculture and Environment to issue guidelines on mine capacity quickly, and the Ministry of Construction, along with local authorities, to urge investors and contractors to mobilize full resources, work in shifts around the clock, and strictly penalize delays. The Cần Thơ-Cà Mau Expressway must complete its main route before December 19th.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính on Sunday inspected social housing projects, a ward-level public administration service center, and the construction of Cần Thơ Oncology Hospital, a project that has been delayed for many years, causing significant waste. More in the following.
During his visit to the Nam Long 2 social housing project, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính praised Cần Thö's efforts in developing a social housing after visiting the Nam Long 2 project. Homes sold out immediately, showing strong demand. He asked the city to expand social housing with fully shared infrastructure, schools, healthcare, culture and sports, ensuring equal access. He also called for tailored policies on land, investment, and developer selection to meet housing needs for workers, low-income residents, and relocated officials. The Prime Minister then inspected the long-delayed Cần Thơ Oncology Hospital project. Construction began in 2017 and was expected to finish in 3 years, but the project stalled in 2022 at 82% completion. He requested that authorities resume work immediately, clarify responsibilities, handle violations, and treat the project as urgent.
With only one radiotherapy machine, patients are forced to wait too long. We must upgrade to 2 machines and work with the Ministry of Finance to resolve this quickly. But all actions must be transparent.
The Prime Minister instructed authorities to end the use of ODA funding for the new hospital and switch the project to public investment. The project must be finished by November 30th, 2026 and operational from January 1st, 2027. During his inspection of the 2-tier administration model in Hưng Phu Ward, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính stressed the need to accelerate database integration to ensure accuracy, completeness, and transparency, staying close to the people and working for the people.
At the September government conference with localities, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính called for implementing the 3 pushes to ensure national growth exceeds 8% this year. In response, many provinces and cities have committed to achieving at least 8% growth in 2025, and this makes the final quarter a decisive period for localities to meet full year's target. Our story in Sơn La province.
Sơn La, a rising economic hub of the Northwest, is accelerating efforts to meet its 2025 growth target of over 8%. The province has attracted 14 new investments projects with a total capital of nearly $379 million, 2.4 times higher than the same period last year.
Sơn La has the potential to develop sustainably green organic agriculture and tourism.
Beyond attracting investment, Sơn La is also finding new ways to promote trade and tourism. Once a disadvantaged province, it has now become a major fruit-growing hub. The region is actively connecting markets and promoting itself to domestic and international investors and visitors.
To build an attractive investment environment, Sơn La must first accelerate administrative reforms. From there, we will focus on key areas: transport infrastructure, urban development, renewable energy, and the processing of agricultural, forestry, and fishery products, aiming to make Sơn La the agricultural processing hub of the Northern Midlands and mountainous region.
Provinces and cities are pushing to meet their growth targets, speeding up public investment disbursement for economic expansion. Many localities are turning to new growth drivers such as digital transformation.
Our growth momentum now comes from 3 key areas: digital transformation, green transformation, and streamlining administration.
With urgency and creativity, localities are aligning with the nation's growth momentum, determined to reach the finish line early, contributing to a brighter economic outlook for 2025.
Now, regarding national diplomatic matters, on Monday, Party General Secretary To Lâm and his spouse, along with a high-level Vietnamese delegation, will begin an official visit to Finland at the invitation of Finnish President Alexander Stubb. With the remarkable achievements in bilateral cooperation of the past 5 decades, this visit is expected to further elevate the partnership between the 2 nations to new heights.
More than 40 years ago, the Maisik water plant was among the projects funded by Finland to help Hanoi develop a clean water supply system for the capital.
From 1984 to 1995, Hanoi received $80 million in assistance from the Finnish government. 2 new water plants were built, raising the city's total capacity to 360,000 cubic meters per day by 1995. Finland also funded the construction of a 410-kilometer water pipeline network across Hanoi.
In Hanoi, locals fondly call one street Finnish Water Road. Though unofficial, this name used by residents of Tu Lien Ward has become a lasting symbol of Vietnam-Finland friendship.
People here named the street to commemorate Finland's support in bringing clean water to the community.
Over more than 50 years of cooperation and friendship, the Vietnam-Finland relationship has grown steadily stronger. The partnership has evolved from development aid to mutually beneficial collaboration. The official visit by Party General Secretary To Lâm is expected to open new prospects for bilateral cooperation in the years ahead.
Strategic partnership. We will focus more on trade and investment traditionally it has been based more on development cooperation.
The party chief's visit will open broader opportunities for cooperation, especially in the digital and green economies, science and technology, maritime industries, renewable energy, and high-tech agriculture. These are all priority areas for Vietnam with strong potential for collaboration.
Built on a foundation of long-standing friendship and growing political trust, Vietnam and Finland are working together to elevate their bilateral relationship to a new level.
After just 3 months of the new two-tier local government system, even some of Vietnam's most remote communities are seeing the impact of digital transformation.
That's right, Brian. Now let's head to Tuyên Quang province to see how modern technology is changing life in the highlands, where ethnic minorities make up more than half of the population.
In the past, Ma Van Tu had spent an entire day traveling from his village to the commune office. Now, it takes him less than an hour to register his child's birth.
The staff were really welcoming and guided me through all the steps on the public service portal.
We've strengthened our community digital teams at both the commune and village levels, giving them the training they need to understand technology.
The province has worked quickly to address areas with poor connectivity, equip public service centers with modern IT infrastructure, and help residents access administrative services.
We are actively using the province's shared information systems and online conferencing platforms to cut travel costs and shorten time.
On September 2025, Tuyên Quang province has simplified 50 administrative procedures and standardized more than 2,100 others, helping businesses cut costs by over 26%.
In our digital transformation efforts, the key priority is building a shared database that's accurate, complete, and secure.
Technology is transforming every part of daily life. It's a driver for inclusive and sustainable growth in the digital age.
Hanoi will host the signing ceremony of the United Nations Convention Against Cybercrime this week, and to ensure maximum safety, Level 1 aviation security measures will be implemented from October 28 to 28 at Nội Bài, Da Nang and Tân Sơn Nhất International Airports. The Immigration Department has directed relevant units to step up random inspections, tighten entries and exit control in restricted areas, and enhance screenings of passengers and baggage. Other airports nationwide are also required to intensify checks, surveillance, and cybersecurity measures throughout this period. Coming up next on Newsline, repair work restores power to Zaporizhzhia.
Later on, Gaza farmers revive agriculture.
Now, from efforts to restore power at Europe's largest nuclear plant to China's massive clean energy corridor and farmers in Gaza striving to rebuild their livelihood, the world is seeing resilience and innovation in action. And France, meanwhile, is tightening citizenship rules with a new civic test for foreigners. And Tao Chang, can you tell us more?
Right, so let's start with developments in Ukraine, where engineers are racing to reconnect the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant to external power. That is after weeks of outages raised concerns over nuclear safety, according to the International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA. On Saturday, engineers began work to repair two cables on the 330 kilovolt Ferrovesnia 1 line following demining operations in the area. The line has been disconnected since May 7. Later this weekend, teams are expected to start fixing the 750 kilovolt Dniprovska line, which was damaged on September 23, cutting the plant off from all external power sources. The IAEA says the work could take about a week to complete. China's Yangtze River is home to the world's largest clean energy corridor, 6 giant hydropower stations that altogether have generated more than 4 trillion kilowatt hours of electricity, according to the China Three Gorges Corporation. In the first 3 quarters of this year alone, the corridor produced 235 billion kilowatt hours, delivering clean energy from China's resource-rich west to its industrialized east. Stretching 1,800 kilometers, the corridor includes Wudongdae, Bihutan, Shiwudo, Jiangxiba, Three Gorges, and Gozhouba dams. By the end of July, China's total renewable energy capacity reached 2.17 billion kilowatts, the largest in the world. And we're looking at signs that could be a sustainable recovery after more than a year and a half of conflict. The fields of Gaza are slowly coming back to life. Farmers are once again returning to their land, determined to revive what war and blockade have nearly erased. Yet the road to recovery is steep. The cost of cultivation has skyrocketed, and basic farming materials have become scarce.
In eastern Al Zawaida, farmers like Mohammed Al-Shami are returning to their fields, but at a heavy cost. With prices of supplies soaring and infrastructure destroyed by war, the cost of cultivating 1 dunam has multiplied nearly 8-fold. Greenhouses were bombed, irrigation systems damaged, and even basic materials have become unaffordable.
1 dunam that used to cost $270 now needs 1,900 or 2,160 US. Costs are so high that many have given up farming. During the war, we abandoned the fields, everything was destroyed. The greenhouses beside us were bombed. Even nylon covers that used to cost a few dollars per meter are now 27 US.
Gaza's agriculture once supplied local markets and even exported produce abroad. Today, the sector is struggling to secure the essentials: water, fertilizers, and quality seeds.
There aren't enough farming areas anymore, and where we can farm, there's no water, no fertilizers, no pesticides. We used to import seeds, but now they're unavailable. Local seeds don't grow well, most of them die. I planted this crop once, it died, I replanted it. It cost me twice as much.
Despite the hardship, Gaza's farmers are trying to revive what's left of their land, hoping their crops will once again sustain their families and local markets.
Moving on to France, where the country has issued detailed regulations for a mandatory civic test for foreigners applying for citizenship or multi-year residence permits effective from 1st of January 2026. According to the decree, the test will consist of 40 multiple-choice questions to be completed in 45 minutes and will require a passing score of 80%. The exam is designed to evaluate applicants' understanding of the principles and values of the Republic, the rights and duties associated with living in France, and the country's history, geography, cultural and institutional and political system. Critics argue that the civic test demands a higher level of knowledge and will raise the required French language proficiency from B1 to B2. And finally, for our world news segment in Japan, the path is clear for Sanae Takaichi to become the country's first female prime minister after the ruling Liberal Democratic Party reached a coalition agreement with the Japan Innovation Party. According to the agreement, Japan Innovation Party leader Hirofumi Yoshimura and Liberal Democratic Party leader Sanae Takaichi will formally sign the coalition deal on 20th of October, a day before the extraordinary session of the Diet opens to elect a successor to Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. Yoshimura is expected to vote in favor of Takaichi, effectively securing her election as Japan's first female prime minister. The move marks a new phase in Japanese politics, following the departure of the Komeito Party from its 26-year-long coalition with the ruling Liberal Democratic Party.
Coming up next on Newsline. ASEAN Friendship Diversity Shine at Concert. And Spain's oldest chess player turns 104. Today marks a Vietnamese Women's Day, October 20th. In Ho Chi Minh City, the fresh flower market is entering its busiest time of the year. Rising demand over the past few days has kept retailers and wholesale markets busy preparing supplies.
Hong chose to buy flowers as gifts for her loved ones. For many, flowers may not be essential items, but they carry great sentimental value on this special occasion.
Prices are about the same as usual, maybe slightly higher, but the flowers are fresher and the designs more appealing.
With supply secure from local gardens, major retailers have kept prices stable, making flowers more affordable for the holiday.
The average spending on flowers ranges from $20 to $60 per purchase. We've tried to keep prices steady, with only a slight increase compared to 2024.
However, at major wholesale markets, which supply most of the flowers sold during the holiday, wholesale flower prices have risen to about 50% due to strong demand. At Ho Thi Ki Market, roses remain the top seller, priced at $10 to $16 per 50-stem bunch.
This year, prices are quite affordable. Large, beautiful bouquets cost around $12, while elegant business bouquets at about $60.
The Vietnamese Women's Day has brought a festive buzz to the flower market, with demand rising across all sales channels. For many vendors, it's a hopeful sign of recovery after a quiet season.
The ASEAN Friendship Concert 2025 concluded on Saturday evening in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
And with the theme Melody of Unity, Rhythm of Friendship, the event celebrated friendship and cultural harmony with a spectacular showcase of talented artists from across Southeast Asia. More to follow.
Concert 2025, the first of its kind in the region, featured 10 talent performers from across ASEAN member countries. Organized by Radio Television Malaysia (RTM), in collaboration with the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union (APU), the Malaysian Ministry of Communications and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the concert celebrates regional harmony and the rich cultural diversity in Southeast Asia.
Why we organized this concert and chose the theme Unity, because we want to show that ASEAN, we want to be united. We each have different music, but we are able to understand each other through music and able to communicate and be cooperative through the language of music, especially contemporary music, because it resonates with the people.
Representing Vietnam was singer Võ Hoài Anh, one of Vietnam's most promising new generation performers from the musical program Talent Rendezvous. She expressed traditional Vietnamese folk colors on modern musical instruments in her performance titled Mưa bay tháp cổ, A Mist Over the Ancient Tower.
I was incredibly happy to be able to introduce a well-known Vietnamese song to international friends. Having the opportunity to perform at the ASEAN Friendship Concert 2025, I wish to help promote the beauty, culture, and cuisine of Vietnam with audiences from across the region and beyond.
We are very happy that Vietnam is part of this ASEAN concert, and the performance from the young performer from Vietnam was mind-blowing, and we hope we could cooperate again in the next event like this.
The ASEAN Friendship Concert 2025 will be podcast across the region in October, delivering a powerful message of friendship, peace, and solidarity among ASEAN nations through the universal language of music.
Spanish chess player Manuel Alvarez competed in a special tournament held in Madrid's Valdenorrado neighborhood to mark his 104th birthday, drawing more than 160 participants. Affectionately known as the Don Manuel, the former engineer has played chess for over 8 decades and remains an inspiration for his dedication and longevity. In this tournament, he opened with a match against a 9-year-old opponent and won a nearly warm applause. The Madrid chess community, which has honored him since he turned 18, says this event is both a birthday celebration and a tribute to a man whose lifelong passion continues to inspire.
For the first time, Africa became a stop for the E1 electric powerboat racing series, where technology, speed, and sustainability meet in Lagos, Nigeria. The coastal city hosted the Lagos Grand Prix, part of the E1 World Championship, the world's first all-electric powerboat race. 9 international teams owned by global celebrities competed on waters of Lagos Lagoon. Each boat, driven by 1 male and 1 female racers, delivered an exciting performance, with Team Brazil taking their first victory. The event marked a new milestone for Africa, showcasing its commitment to clean energy, innovation, and global sports. And that's all we have for this hour on Newsline.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the upcoming